Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Big Tech Frenzy. In today's video, we got to talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. SoFi is up 8% on the day while being up ever so slightly, but still up. We count every penny these days on the after hours, up to 28.79 in the after hours now, closing out the day at 28.68. Levels that we've never seen since, well, it's been a little bit. I mean, September 23rd. I mean, it hasn't been that long. But, people get worried whenever their stock ends up dipping. And what did we say during this period here? Well, I was making videos constantly, going live, constantly saying this is the dip for me to purchase. Okay. So if you have long-term faith in the name and they continue to show that they are executing on their promises, well, then you end up seeing some pretty insane days like we are seeing today. And I think that you're going to continue to see optimism going into earnings. I mean, the opposite would be just craziness. We ended up seeing data from website traffic, from downloads, to analyst upgrades and what they're seeing from loan sales and activity there as well for originations through the loan platform business. Everything has looked good. Okay. And then you're going to tell me that the stock goes from $31 a share down to 25 because some other companies are not doing well. The thing is SoFi is built different. And if the market doesn't want to look into that or understand that, that's alpha. That's your advantage against the market. If you're truly looking into what SoFi, not just the market, we have to understand what their competitors are doing. So we know what SoFi is doing differently. But if you're seeing a difference from SoFi, well, call that execution diff. Okay. That's the difference. Sorry, I didn't have the chat pulled up. There you guys go. $35 after Q3. I think if we end up seeing 1 million new members, potentially even closer to $1 billion in revenue. And you know what SoFi does? They expand margins. So if we end up seeing that at a higher margin, the highest level of EPS, the highest level of net income that we've ever seen, hey, it might have to. You'll still see reports from amateur analysts saying that SoFi's free cash flow is not positive and all these sort of things. These people don't know what they're talking about at all. They don't understand what free cash flow is. They heard it from Warren Buffett, and then they end up looking at each company the same. It's not remotely true. Steve with the donation early on in the stream. Good to see you, Steve. And he says, how about some Timmy Cook all-time highs today? Now, this is conviction. Steve, thank you so much for the donation. I will absolutely buy Apple with that money. And you got to love conviction that tells you to buy at all-time highs. At this point, I'm starting to believe you. Michael says, hi, guys. Baba, how you doing? Joy Luna's in chat. Gabriel, Peter. Wow, we got a lot of regulars tonight. Okay. Now, I think a lot of people are going to read my title and go, okay, Tanner, we know it's Monday. BMNR buys Ethereum. Yes, we're all aware that they just bought more. No, that's not what the update was today. Okay. Well, yes, we did find out that they're at 3.2 million of Ethereum total, 2.68% of the total supply. Tom Lee said, nah, I want even more. Okay. So Arkham ended up finding that Tom Lee ended up purchasing roughly $250 more in Ethereum today. Okay, so this is not reported in what they just ended up showing off. They just bought another $250 million. Arkham's been extremely accurate in their ability to find, BMNR wallets and sort them out. So I have a real belief that this is them. We'll see. But it's looking very hopeful. That's all I'm saying. They continue to buy the dip. I'm aware people want Ethereum to move right away and don't have that patience on, wanting more and more development from Ethereum, maybe not translating to ETH prices right now. But those two things don't have to be correlated one-to-one. We saw it in SoFi stock forever, right? Investments don't have to correlate with their underlying asset. So Sentiment is what's driving Ethereum's price, at least for the most part. Obviously, whenever there's more and more activity on Ethereum, that can lock down that supply and make sure that the remaining supply that is available for investors, fluctuates the markets even more, which is good, which is actually great. But we're still so early on in this journey. But however, things might continue to change, and let me tell you why. So first off, in my video today, which if you guys haven't seen it, watch it after the live stream, I essentially go over what has changed over the last week from Ethereum. One of the biggest ones was Brian Armstrong coming out talking about how he does not think we're going back on the Genius Act, because a lot of banks have been wanting to step that back. So, not just the issuers of stablecoins can offer rewards, but no one can offer stablecoin or blockchain rewards to customers. Supposedly, the people that Brian Armstrong's been saying or talking to, they are not looking to change anything from the Genius Act. That law has already been put through. However, the Clarity Act, which is more talking about Bitcoin and Ethereum, is up next, and everything that he's saying is very positive, and they're already starting to write up the text of what this next bill will actually mean. So what ended up happening the next or today, was a surprise announcement by the Federal Reserve that they are going to do a crypto conference tomorrow, talking about bringing or bridging traditional assets with digital asset economies, okay? Stablecoin use cases and business models, AI in payments, and tokenization of financial products. What are we talking about, ladies and gentlemen? This is the Federal Reserve, okay? Christopher Waller is going to essentially moderate and handle the entire meeting. But this is very exciting. I mean, this is full traditional adoption of trying to understand these products. And we're not just talking about one or two small things. These are all the biggest, aspects that I've been trying to focus on. Stablecoins, AI in payments, bridging traditional finance to digital assets, and tokenization. Okay. So I get a lot of comments in my videos from time to time saying, hey, we don't need tokenization. This is a big joke, yada, yada, yada. Tell that to Christopher Waller and the rest of the Federal Reserve. Okay. So I don't care. Follow what the smart money is doing. That'll lead you to the way of how the world's changing. I mean, if a technology is, faster, more secure, and cheaper, and allows companies to make more money, it's usually going to be the thing that ends up happening. I mean, it would be a hard bet to bet the other way around and say, oh no, tech is not going to move forward and legacy is going to continue to win. That hasn't happened in history. I can't say that hasn't happened in history. Legacy has definitely slowed down the advancement of technology, usually through regulation. Governing bodies can slow down innovation, but they did not win this time, okay? Trump is actually pushing through crypto policies, and it's going to change the game. So that's making me more bullish on crypto names, not just ETH, but crypto names in general and AI names as well. Those are my two, biggest sort of investment themes that I'm investing in. That's still what I'm focused on. Nothing's changed. I'll let you guys know when that does change, but that's not today. Maybe someday, but not today. So yeah, sorry to just clarify that and bring all that out to you. Not only that, BMNR's Tom Lee himself has come out and said, Bitmine Immersions will be launching a staking solution, quote unquote, very soon. Very soon is very ambiguous, but if that ends up going through, that could be, real net income that they're actually starting to make, more capital that allows them to not only, earn a yield, but then also go back to throw it back into buying even more Ethereum, maybe distributions back to shareholders, maybe looking to invest in other investments. I don't know why they haven't been staking previously. Tom Lee, well, not just Tom Lee, a lot of the Ethereum treasuries are not currently staking. Okay. I've heard some things around slight manipulation of the prices of Ethereum. The less locked down ETH, the more that they can control the cost, allows them to acquire more. very speculative stuff. I don't weigh in on that at all. But the fact that they're all not staking, makes my mind sort of spin here. But that might be changing, especially now that BMNR is getting much closer to their goal. They're about 54% of the way to 5% of Ethereum. Okay. And after today's purchase of another 250 million, that just ticks them up just ever so slightly even closer. But it does look like they are going to hit that goal in 2026. Early 2026, especially if Ethereum stays down at these prices. I think they can even get it as early as January, which is crazy. BMNR ended up running today, which is interesting because I was on the Discord, which is absolutely free, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Not selling you anything there, nothing along those lines. Just I know a lot of you guys talk in chat, and then whenever I say that the conversation ends, that's when it ends. I didn't think that was very cool. So the Discord's there if you guys want to continue your conversations off stream. People are talking about investments, different things there. As long as you keep it civil, you'll stay on the Discord. Discord has, just really quick disclaimer, I'll keep this down to 20 seconds. There are a lot of bots on Discord. And if you join Discord, you're going to get a lot of friend requests by people that claim to be me. Okay? I'm not reaching out to you. There's no private investment group. I don't want your money. I don't have a fund. Okay. I have no way of banning them because they're not on the server. They've just created their own Discord accounts and they're reaching out to you. And I can't even find them because they ban me, or they block me. So I can't even report them because their accounts don't show up for me. So very hard. If you see them, report them. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next subject. BMNR up 7.9%. In the Discord, people were talking about how BMNR is constantly diluting and they're never going to get ahead, okay? And that they're always going to do worse than their Ethereum counterpart, which, by the way, currently, if you look at the day that we ended up having, or even, over the weekend, for example, BMNR did expand, okay, up 7.9% on the day. Now, what was I going to say about this? So with BMNR, we have to remember, between the equity that we are giving them by continuously purchasing in and, their actual ETH that they're holding, if their equity, which is only tied to Ethereum and small other investments like Bitcoin, cash, and other things. If you were to buy cash, for example, like if you were to take cash and buy cash with it, that's 1-to-1. The one's not better than the other. Okay. So a company that's holding a ton of cash is almost worth equally to its equity. But if you believe that Ethereum, for example, is going to be worth more later on, to sell your equity today to buy something that might be worth more later on in the future is something that they can get one up on the market on. If they have a higher market net asset value than the book of Ethereum, they can sell their shares, do another primary, secondary sale to the market to go buy more Ethereum of something that they have a discount on. Okay. If it goes the other way around, and the equity is worth more, and the Ethereum is worth more than the equity, then they will trim Ethereum and buy back the shares because the shares that are associated with that equity would be worth more. Okay. That's not currently the case for BMNR. That's the case for every single other Ethereum treasury. Okay. So BMNR continues to buy and buy and buy Ethereum. Now, people ask me all the time whether this is a good strategy or not. You don't have to believe in Ethereum. Okay. You could say, hey, why don't you go buy spot or something along these lines? You can't acquire BMNR with the same level of capital that we're giving them, the amount of ETH that they are buying. We don't have the access to the equity, the access to institutional buyers, the types of ways that they're raising with these warrants and stuff like that. I mean, maybe you guys do. I certainly don't. I don't have these types of connections. So we're benefiting off of the expertise that Tom has on Wall Street. We're also benefiting from institutional purchasing because they're purchasing in such large bulk orders. We don't pay, 0.75% on our ETH or 0.5%. they're paying, 0.005%, like insanely cheap rates through FalconX, Kraken, Coinbase, these sort of places. So they get an advantage on the pricing because they're buying so much. They're going to get an advantage on the staking because they're staking so much. And they also get access to capital at such better rates than I would, let's say, going to my bank or something like this and saying, hey, can I buy this on leverage? You don't have to believe in that strategy. But historically speaking, whenever you look at how a treasury like MicroStrategy or Strategy now has worked, it has been beneficial to shareholders for them to do this type of strategy. To buy spot and buy along the way up yourself has not done as well as buying MicroStrategy themselves. And that doesn't mean you get to choose what timeline you decide that they are winning on. If MicroStrategy, for example, falls faster than Bitcoin in the short term, you have to look at it on the long term. How has it worked from point A, the start, to point B? Okay. And BMNR is the same. So I'll leave it there. I'm just seeing a lot of comments online about how, it's better to buy spot or something like this. Then go buy spot. If you think it's better to buy spot and you're still bullish on Ethereum, go buy spot. I'm not promoting BMNR. It's just what I'm doing. Okay. But I don't know how many times I have to say it and then defend it's just my investment. I like D-Local, I'm buying it here. I like Chime, I'm buying here. By the way, Chime, whoo! Look at this. The fintechs have ran, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, everything sort of Amazon had a good day and they ended the world today. I mean, the whole internet just collapsed. Reddit was down. Robinhood was down. Many, many different businesses were struggling with outages across the United States on, the back of Amazon Web Services. Stock up 1.6%. So, yeah, awesome. And you know what? I'm still bullish on Amazon even after this event. Okay. This will be a blip in the radar. No one cares. Same thing with Robinhood. Everyone thinks money is going to go somehow flow off of Robinhood markets. It will not. Okay. This is only going to be an event that ends up driving them more and more revenue. They're going to continue to grow through this. Anyway. It is crazy though. The amount of the internet that runs on 3 different businesses. And if they just decide, nah, we're striking. We're going to strike the internet. It's over. You are promoting BMNR. Okay, well, how can I talk about something? Promoting just means I'm talking about it. You guys ended up listening. I have not put dollars behind, YouTube to have you guys find me. People look at me like some sort of institution or something. I'm a guy. I just hit upload. You guys can all create YouTube videos. You try it. You're not promoting. I'm just making YouTube videos. You guys clicked. I just like the stock. I like SoFi. I like Nubank. I like Amazon. I like Nvidia. I like Shopify. I don't like Roblox. I want to talk about that as well. I talked about Roblox the other night and said how I didn't like it because there were some predatory things that they are doing on that platform. Not the owners of the platform, but they're not defending against it either. Well, they're getting some pretty hefty lawsuits now. I just found out today that they're under criminal subpoenas to investigate alleged predator activity on the platform. The company is profiting from children while failing to protect them, saying they enable our kids to be abused. Insane reports that I was reading today. Certain countries are banning the platform in their country. Absolutely nuts. Not AppLovin. This is Roblox. But I did end up selling out of my AppLovin shares. So I don't want to be around SEC probes. And as things start to develop there, I got a good bump in the stock, but I'd rather own the user than the platform alone. Okay, I never had high conviction in this name. It was a small trade that I made during earnings. Okay, I just thought, hey, I saw good earnings. They sold off a ton. I bought it like $360. So, yeah. Lol, of course you did. Okay, well, the people who are actually my course members, who I said that I sold live as I did it, can verify that. I'm sure some of them are in the chat. Yeah, I can actually bring it up and screenshot it with the timestamp and everything. Yeah, on the 18th of October at 2:19 p.m. I said, really, well, I don't know if I should read that out. I'll read it out. Really thinking about starting a position in Reddit with my gains from AppLovin. Just want to own the user and avoid SEC probes. But there will be people in chat that can verify that. Not selling shop. Okay. You're telling me that I mailed 100 Bitcoin in an envelope to the wrong Tanner? I haven't bought Reddit just yet. I'm thinking about starting a position in Reddit because, well, I think that there's a lot of, like, I'm just seeing more and more users that are using this platform. I think I'm going to wait out and see, next quarter to make sure that there is no Google problems. But yeah. Not denying you sold, but find your taco funny. I don't know what that means. Taco to me is the Trump comment, not. How does that have anything to do with AppLovin? On Reddit, there are a lot of calls for violence. If you, I don't know. That's like saying, you have a problem with X versus blue sky or something like this. If it's a political thing, I don't really look at it that way. I find Reddit is more of, I mean, it definitely is left leaning. That's for sure. I don't think many people will deny that. But there's a lot of, leftist individuals in the world. Doesn't mean that we can't profit on them. So, yeah. Yeah, Reddit isn't in your wheelhouse. Just stay away from it. No. You know what is in my wheelhouse is understanding a tech company's user growth, understanding how much I think the importance of data in artificial intelligence is. They are the most cited source in AI, like across all models. They continue to grow, and I'm a huge fan in all markets on advertising. It's such an insane area, and I feel like they're so early there. Yeah. Are we pricing in triple beats on October 28th? Are we expecting red on earnings day? I think that SoFi, you should expect a triple beat every quarter. At least we haven't seen evidence to suggest otherwise any single quarter. But I mean, red on earnings day could absolutely happen, especially if we run into earnings. There's not too many more 8+ days that we need in order for it to be a little overblown going into earnings. But I think that the stock deserves to be higher today. And the fact that we got a discount and it ended up getting dragged down to, $25, $26 a share in the last month is just insane. What an advantage. Okay. Wait, just got here. Tanner, are you starting a position in Reddit? I haven't officially. But I've definitely been thinking about it ever since, like, this is not even a new thought. Ever since we did that Fiscal Friday of Reddit, I've been thinking about it. The growth there is insane. Insane. And, I see a lot of people using Reddit, people that have, that I wouldn't consider strongly politically affiliated people. I mean, they're just looking for resources online. And there was a couple times where, I don't want to say too much about this story, but my girlfriend was looking for something online, and she doesn't use Reddit. She doesn't use any of these platforms. So she was just Googling what she needed and then found a forum online and said, hey, well, this Reddit user said this. And it was just like constant where she was quoting this. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe the Google problem isn't being as deep as we see now. That's extremely anecdotal. I'm aware. But I haven't seen anything negative yet going from the sort of 100 blue links down to 10. How old is she? She's 28. Reddit is for the weak-minded, fat left losers. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. That's for sure. But don't call my girlfriend that again. Okay. When is your Chime deep dive coming out? I'll have a Chime video coming out this week. I would hope that it's Wednesday or Thursday. That guy just called your girlfriend a fat loot. That was my joke, Alex. You just said my joke back to me. I want to get you. Okay. Has going full-time on YouTube been stressful? It's the opposite of stress. It's the opposite of stress. It's been the most relieving and easy thing I've done with my life. Yeah. Can you quantify insane levels of growth? Well, I mean, it's Googleable, but like why can't I find that word? Advertising. Geez. The advertising growth year over year for Reddit was like 85 point something percent year over year. That's insane. That's insanity. If you're growing faster than NVIDIA, that's declared insane. Yeah. Please allow me to buy your coffee tomorrow. Thank you so much, Rover. Really do appreciate that. My coffee's cheaper than that, though. Thank you. Hyperscaler CapEx is crushing their free cash flow. If they slow, NVIDIA gets punished. Fair or not? Are we pricing in that risk or assuming spend persists? Well, we are assuming spending persists. If CapEx does get crushed, that crushes NVIDIA. But I'm not, I'm obviously very bullish on the idea that artificial intelligence spend continues. 85% of zero is still zero. I mean, they have tens and tens of millions of users. Like, they're smaller than other names, but yeah, they're doing very well. Matt, I think no, I'm a dirty blonde. I'm a dirty blonde. I don't know. It looks very red, but like, I don't know. I think that's there might be some cherry blonde in there. I'm definitely not a redhead. Matt Money the other day said he had a fake Rolex. I called BS with a 50 gifted. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know, Matt Money has his own YouTube channel. All he had to do is pay $50 to promote it. But yeah, he has his own YouTube channel. He does the Cash Flow Chronicles. I listen to it often. He's one of the greats. Thank you, Matt. Really appreciate it. He also has great sense of comedy movies. We found that out this weekend. Thank you, brother. Cherry blonde. I'll take that, June. Thanks. Okay. let's continue. Polymarket had the most insane announcement today, which was just, what are we doing here? Crypto moves fast, so you need to trade faster. They're going to allow you to do 15-minute intervals, whether Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of these different names goes up or down. You put in your bets, you can pull out at any time, but if the contract expires and you're up or down, you take the opposite side of that bet. Just like any other polymarket event. Geez. Just like any other prediction market event, polymarket now is letting you bet on 15-minute price intervals. I mean, I wonder the level of volume that they're going to see on this. Like, it's one thing to say, hey, who's going to be the next president? And then you sort of get a lot of volume and then see who wins 4 years later. It's another thing to say, okay, bet now. Okay, bet now. Now. It might be pure gambling. I mean, there might be some times where, you know, you see a report come out, you think it's going to go higher, and maybe you think that news would put a 5% change on Bitcoin or something along these lines. You just found out that Sailor purchased or something like this. But on Polymarket, there's a 40% chance it goes higher. So your upside is 2.5x. I can see where there's a potential where if you have upside on the news or you read it earlier, like some report came out and it's 6 seconds or like 6 seconds ago, that you put some money on these prediction markets. Aside from that, it does seem like pure gambling. It is some degen stuff, and I didn't even click that message. Okay. Is there an earnings report where SoFi doesn't drop after they report? Yes. I actually think the majority of times they do not drop, but the times that they have dropped, they've dropped so severely that that's been stuck in our memory. I've seen, I forget which website does it, but you can look at each individual report in the closed 24 hours, or sorry, the close that day of earnings. I forget. Anyway, someone had shown me off a graph, and it was actually more green than you would think. Davis will be signing up for that 15-minute trading. Oh yeah, he will. Okay, back to SoFi. All right, this is pretty cool. So more and more people have been using this international payments platform where you can end up sending people money, currently only in Mexico. It's been reported that it's going to the EU soon, which is going to open it up to a very large audience as well. But someone had traded paid someone $220 and had to pay $1.10. $1.10 to send $220 on October 18th. Okay. They paid no network fees. How crazy is this? Now, the only thing is they said, would be nice if limits weren't capped at $300 per day, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. Fees were significantly lower than they were on Remitly. Now, Remitly is the solution that people choose whenever they don't want to go to the legacy players of, you know, Western Union, Zoom by PayPal, you know, some of these ones that are charging you more. So Remitly has come out of the works to offer you a much better rate. Wise has come out of the woodwork to offer you a much better rate. And now here SoFi is putting it absolutely to shame. How crazy is that? I need a membership. You know what? You go ahead and do that. I wouldn't even mind. Matt Money received gift membership from himself. Did he really? That's awesome. Do you make money? Do they make money off the exchange rate? No, that's not. They're not really. I mean, obviously, I guess that they could. I would assume that is the clear exchange rate. If they are putting in hidden fees, I would be extremely upset. From what it sounds like, they sent $220. I'd have to find that out. I'm sure I could probably send a message to a SoFi engineer or something like that to make sure that that's not the case. I mean, I guess it could be the case if it's in, the like the hidden text or whatever. Not hidden text, but the, Anyway, yeah, I'll find that out. It would not be the SoFi way if they're doing any hidden fees. My assumption would be is that the amount that they made on that transaction was $1.10. Okay, which is a significantly lower percentage than anything we've seen, really. Can I have a membership? Can't join on my phone. Paul, I'm I would love to give you a membership for this donation. I don't have, it's not even a function I could do. You did pay for it. I see it, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I don't even think people can give targeted memberships either. Like no one can buy you one. I think it just sends them out randomly. I gave you heaps of money. Paul, I know, brother, I know. But yeah. I swear there's nothing I can do. It is random. It's possible to catch up to Tanner's live streams by playing them at 1.75x speed. Well, that's no fun. I'll sound even yeah. Does anyone use chat or Discord? I think we have over 2,000 or 2,200 people or something in the Discord. It's pretty cool. Okay. I also saw this. Well, Amazon was ending our experiences online and no one could use different platforms. X and, SpaceX, there were certain names. SoFi, by the way, I actually had highlighted something a little bit funny online. Anthony Noto and a couple of people had made some remarks that, hey, Hood is down, SoFi's not, haha. It's not actually going to affect Hood, I don't think, at least not in any large, meaningful way. But, it still brought me to this tweet that someone ended up tweeting out, which I thought was just insane. Have what you want about the political opinions of Paul. Glad you found it. Thank you, brother. Sorry that you donated more than you had to. Anyway, I don't like that Elon ends up getting into politics that makes him step away from his work. Okay. However, even with all of those things where he goes off of work and does something else, he has like a small platoon of kids that he also takes care of from, I mean, I'm sure he's not doing it solo-handed or single-handedly, but he does have an army of kids and all of these other things. This got brought to my attention. To whoever's keeping score, Elon has co-founded the first, second, and fifth most valuable private companies in the world, as well as the 10th most valuable public company in the world. I genuinely don't understand how anyone feels courageous enough to bet against him. Yeah, I would never bet against him. But I also don't have to, take part in investing in what is the 10th most valuable, public stock is also very highly valued as well. If you were to actually look at the top 10 highest earning companies, SoFi wouldn't be, Tesla wouldn't be anywhere on that list. And now that comes from a Tesla fan and everything like this. But there's just a point to, or there's a price that I'm willing to pay and there's a price that I'm not willing to pay for future growth. Paul with the 5 gifted. Thank you, Paul. Now Rob Mason, Pulse, Logan, Piyush, and Joseph are now green names in chat. Thank you, brother. I also saw this report. So as you guys may know, I'm a big fan of Nubank stock. I'm a big fan of a lot of fintechs. They've done me well. But one of the things that I always get questioned to me is, hey, why do you invest in Nubank, Inter & Co. looks like a Nubank, but, much better. It's much cheaper. They offer more services, and they're, at a much cheaper valuation. Well, the Wolf of Harcourt Street, which, amazing X account, by the way, ended up showing off this slide here from the Brazilian Central Bank that showed off the amount of valid complaints per 1 million customers. Inter & Co. had nearly 85 valid complaints. Nubank at the other end, at the lowest number, 13. Now, Itaú right here is one of the largest, and I never pronounced this right, so I apologize to the Latin American viewers, but is it Santander? I already know that's not how you pronounce it, because that's always how I pronounce it, and then I think it's Santander, something like this. That's actually the largest Latin American bank. Itaú, some of the largest banks. This is on a per million, okay? Nubank has solved such, Santander. I'm Brazilian. Thank you. Okay, I don't know what you guys are saying. I see you guys writing it out phonetically, and not too bad. Okay. Nubank, though, doing something different. This has to be worth a premium. No? Am I crazy? If you make happy customers, and this goes the same for SoFi as well, just constantly not ruining relationships, and maybe they're not innovating as fast. That can't be said the same for Nubank. But not messing up relationships, boy, oh boy, do you get some sticky customers that continuously come back. That's got to be great. I love Tanner, but I think he sniffed coke. Ease up, man. Kate? Just ask Google how to pronounce. I mean, that's got to be bearish Duolingo, right? Am I crazy? I'm kidding. But it is funny, right? The idea that Perplexity and all of these companies have come out with essentially their own version of Google Translate, where you can say, hey, how do I pronounce this word? And then it actually tells you, as if this didn't exist already. That's not, if Google Translate was all we needed to kill Duolingo, why does Duolingo have a business at all? I think the most important part, and it gets highlighted by the bulls and never highlighted enough by the people who are actually looking into the investment, is what is motivating people to learn a language. Are people self-motivated to learn a language through, Perplexity or ChatGPT? Is it going to give you real lessons? Is it going to learn at a better and better level? And even if it does, is it going to have you coming back? Are you voluntarily going to go to school every day? Probably not. But Duolingo, the way that they've made this engaging product, actually does bring people back. Tried the, where'd that go? Tried the AirPod live translation in Spanish. Pretty damn good. I've heard nothing but the opposite. I've heard it's delayed and it's hard to keep focused and it's terrible. If it's good, I'll take that back, but that's not what I've seen online. Tanner, odds of SoFi diluting again after earnings results, I would almost say I'll put it at 99.9%. They're in full growth mode. But people make this out to be a bad thing. This is what I need to remind people of, even with BMNR. It doesn't matter if you're being diluted, if the money that they are using to dilute you is going to do more for the company than what it would have done pre-dilution. So this is why people break things down into EPS, okay? Earnings per share, revenue per share, everything's in per share, because then if a company is heavily diluting, you can see whether or not it's making a large difference. That's why, BMNR tries to break it down on an MNAV per share basis. Because then if that's growing, then you know that the strategy's working. Is that why you guys think I sniff coke, by the way? Because I keep touching my mustache. It's just sweaty. You see that? It's just annoying. It's hot in my room. Also, for the new viewers that are coming in, that I'm like, do you guys think I'm sniffing? No, I'm just... All right. Guys, I've never even been offered coke in my life. Like, you don't understand. I'm not that guy. Okay. I wouldn't know where to find it. People would think I'm a cop. They would, call me a narc or something. I don't get coke. Addly doodly. Okay. That said, you look like Canadian Harry Potter. It was one guy. I'm not. I'm just having fun. That said, what was I going to say? I was talking about stocks and investing. Oh, sorry, the dilution. It matters what they do with the money. Okay? If a company, because everyone talks about these small percentages because they're diluting at decimal places of percentages, so it's hard to understand. But let's say if SoFi cuts doubles their stock outstanding shares, your ownership in the company gets cut in half. That would suck, okay? But if with that money that they just raised by finding new investors, they ended up 4xing the business, your ownership in that company, although getting cut in half, is worth twice as much. Does that make sense? You own half as much, but that is worth 4x the amount. That's a 2x for you. So in a more very minor piece here, what ended up happening last time, SoFi ended up having to dilute quite a lot. Not having to, but they took the advantage of diluting quite a lot. And essentially what we heard from management is that this money is going to be used at way more of an efficient rate than what it would have been just running the company as it is. Like whenever you're buying the stock and you're expecting it to grow at 30%, for them to dilute, they need to put up growth that's faster than 30%. Well, now we're seeing them grow, potentially members by 41% this year. Just insane growth. So if that new raise is being used to accelerate the growth of the business faster than we've seen, then that raise would have been worth it. Or if we break it down into EPS, we were expecting 31 cents of EPS before dilution, but now after dilution, we're expecting 38 cents. Where did we get that from? There's more shares outstanding, but yet on a broken down earnings per share, EPS has gone up. That's what you want. Tanner doesn't gamble or drink beer. Only hard liquor, baby. No, I try not to drink. Have you heard about tip ranks? Yeah, I've heard about it. Why haven't investors turned bullish on Shark Ninja? It's the same guy. It's the same dude who was in my chat being like, you lost a ton of money on Shark Ninja, not knowing that I'm still up. It's just hasn't been a great purchase just yet. They're a very unknown name, Earnings are going to push that company. They also need, catalysts that are going to push them. So Shark Ninja, for example, has a really unique or a really unique possibility where they make products that go viral on TikTok and Instagram. Okay. You saw that with the Ninja Creamy, the slushy, their blenders, their air fryers, stuff like this. And so I think new products that end up being insanely popular, like you'll see investors like Chris Camillo look at a name like Shark Ninja because he will start to see those products before investors do. Okay. And so if they continue to be innovative, if they continue to grow on margin and stuff like this, Arthur in chat's a troll. So he'll say he'll try to bug me with the share price. I'm not worried about the share price at all. I'm looking at that investment, whether or not they continue to grow market share in the subcategories that they are working in. And so far, we've not seen any drop off in that in the 34 subcategories that they're working in. They own the mop, vacuum, air fryer, blender, slushy. They're kind of solo on those ones. I mean, there's not many competitors in this sort of mid to higher end premium appliance space. And I think that Shark Ninja is going to be, by the way, if no one's ever heard of this company, it's the combination of two larger brands, Shark and Ninja. You'll find them in Costco. You'll find them in a lot of, different stores and stuff on Amazon. They're just an appliance, sort of tabletop appliance stuff and cleaning solutions. They also have a lot of robots. They've got a lot of work in these types of things. The automated vacuum and mop solutions. As technology gets better there, you're going to see them play around with some AI products. I mean, they're a really cool space. Wait till you get a Ninja, microwave, a Ninja fridge, a Ninja dishwasher. Those are coming. The way that Samsung plays in those areas, Ninja is going to play in those. And if their innovation stays anything like it is today, which has been replicated across 34 different subcategories, showing that they can do this and do it in a very unique manner, that could be a unique name. To be very clear with you guys, I have a super small position. I think it's 0.12 or something % of my portfolio. It's a tiny position, but I still like the name. Tiny. Last time I checked, NVIDIA is 43% of my portfolio. 43%. I can talk to you guys about different names, but to talk about the difference in conviction that I have about a small appliance name to the company that's supplying the world's, future AI accelerators, very, very different. Okay. Use the LED mask. But I mean, this is real. My girlfriend wants this so bad. They just don't sell it in our country yet. You should see the amount of Shark and Ninja products that show up at my door in bulk. Okay. And then we had a problem with one. One of them broke. By the way, I got one right behind me. That right there is a Shark air purifier. But anytime that company makes a product, my girlfriend, or anytime my girlfriend wants to buy a product, which are like those red therapy masks or whatever, because she cares about that stuff, she checks if Shark or Ninja makes them. And Shark just ended up getting into the skincare solutions. For sure you use it. I do. Have you seen my skin? Are you kidding? For sure I do not use it. What? Oh, Tanner, you must use Botox. I'm 28 years old. I've got sags. Okay. What are you guys talking about? I'm caring about my portfolio, not my, my looks. Aren't air purifiers for boomers? I don't know, man. I've always cared about my air quality. For sure. It is so true. I tell people I'm 28 and they're like, wait, I thought you were older. Just moisturizer. If you think I'm using moisturizer, my girlfriend tells me to use moisturizer, but what are you talking about? No. Such a waste. I'll use moisturizer. Like whenever something cracks and starts to bleed, then I'll go get a Band-Aid or something. I'm not putting on moisturizer. My girlfriend uses enough moisturizer for the both of us. Tanner, what are your hobbies? This. I love YouTube. Okay. Getting back to it. So I wanted to cover We ended up talking about the Fed, talking about crypto on the 21st. We can check the community portfolio here in a sec. Robinhood has officially began to tokenize shares for EU customers. Last reported at 8.5 million. Okay. You guys can check it especially if you are in the EU and you have the Robinhood app there, which is essentially Robinhood crypto, but they don't call it Robin. They just call it Robinhood now. Talk about Chime. I can talk about Chime as well. Chime's such an interesting name. I really am interested in that name. It's very cool. It's very cool. The only thing I worry about, like just being honest, is there going to be any survivability in these low-end financial names? Like Cash App doesn't seem to be doing super well. Is that going to bleed into Chime eventually? And the names like SoFi, like Robinhood, and all of these are just going to be able to start offering secured cards and like honestly, Chime, what this company is a marketing company. The products that they offer are very similar to what SoFi already has. In fact, for the longest time, their card program and Core and Ledger and everything was operated by Galileo. It was operated by a subsidiary of SoFi. I mean, that's how good SoFi is. However, that's changed recently as Chime has created their own, what they call Chime Core. So now you're actually going to see some margin expansion because they have some vertical integration with some of their software as well. PayPal's an interesting name as well. I mean, I'm not highlighting the best comment right now. I hate PayPal in all caps, but yeah, I don't know. They're offering so much to their users in terms of cash back and everything. It would be hard for anyone to compete. I mean, I would use their products if they were available to me in Canada. But is that a sign of strength, or is that a sign of, hey, we need to pay this rate because people are still going over to Apple Pay and Google Wallet and choosing Stripe on the back end and these sort of things? Like, I hear about them winning a lot, but then whenever they show off their earnings, they continue to not grow as fast as I would assume. Previously, they've blamed that on the pricing structure of Braintree, which has gone over, now they're actually starting to price to value, which has, slowed the growth in how fast they were growing before. But they say that's going to sort of slow down and start to grow at double digits. We'll see. Okay, Tanner, had to choose top 3 stocks most excited about right now. Okay, so I look at that in 2 ways. The names that I'm willing to put a lot of money towards that I'm really excited about immediately comes to Amazon. Okay, I know that's not 3 names. Let me break it down for you. Amazon's super interesting. They haven't moved all year. They'll be around for the rest of my life. I think they're super strong. They can shut down the internet. The stock still goes up. I mean, that is strength. Now, what's it called? Is it going to be the highest return name that I could pick? No. And whenever I talk about names that I think will be the highest return picks, I do think about names like dLocal or SoFi or Chime. But those are just the ones I'm looking at right now. Sorry, I didn't even mention BMNR. BMNR has to be there. I've been buying more BMNR than anything. But I do think dLocal could be a really interesting name. Change in sentiment could double the company. Same for Meta. Yeah, Meta's actually been getting a little beat, I want to get my Amazon shares to 1K shares. That'll grow to $1 million position easy. Wait, sorry, what is that? What's that? What's Amazon right now? Oh, yeah. Yeah. 216 right now. No, I think that's a good strategy, Matt. Yeah, I keep adding Amazon too. It's so funny. I think if you were to look across the investors that I associate with. Now, I'm not saying that we're the best investors. These are the best investors that I know. Okay. And I know some other ones, but I'm not connected well with them. They don't like to talk to me. I'd love to talk with them, but they don't like to talk to me. But Amit, Matt Money, Chris Patel, Roy, Tevis, Steve. I'm missing names as well, but I find that whenever we start to look at a name altogether, there's another layer of confidence that I have because I know people like Matt, Chris, Steve, Roy, like there's a level of contrarian, like they want to play the other side and we'll look into what we're missing. And so I wish there was some sort of index online to say, hey, which names does the Venn diagram all cross over? Because I do really believe in their investment styles. And I think that they're some of the best investors that I know. So I am more bullish on Amazon, even because of that purpose, which might be a little borrowed conviction, but I have my own conviction as well. You guys are bullying us into buying? Not at all. Not at all. Like even the other day, like I don't tell any of them to buy anything. Amit asked if he should buy SoFi, and I was like, man, I can't in good faith tell you to buy SoFi because if it goes down or something like this, like you don't believe in the company. Like I believe in it, you know? So you need to have that your own conviction. So whenever things do go wrong, if times do get hard, that you know why you're holding it. You have to love Amazon that whenever they shut down the internet, you still want to hold them. Yeah. If you say buy SoFi, I will, nothing else. Oh, I won't ever say to buy SoFi. I won't. And I hope that you guys don't listen to people online, including myself. Like, yeah, because we're not going to have the same timelines, you know? I know timeline Tanner and everything, but my investing strategy will be different than yours. My exit timing, you know, I might see another name that I like and rotate out of it. So yeah, that all plays such a role. Okay, let's see. There is fireworks going on. I can hear fireworks going off right now. I grew a mustache because of you. I mean, you know what? And it probably looks good. I had someone on the Discord send me a picture of themselves with a mustache, and they were like, yeah, no, it's good that you found your look. It fits you. Mine, it looks so stupid. And I saw this photo. I was like, this is a good looking gentleman. I mean, the mustache suits him 100%. You got to have some self-confidence in yourself. Happy Diwali, ladies and gentlemen. I became a Canadian because of you. Okay. Now, NVIDIA from 2019 to the present, that was most lovely timing for this company. Yeah. Yeah. There were a lot of companies that did well through COVID, buying 2019 to now. There's many companies that got a great boost from being digital businesses. No tech bros tonight. No tech bros tonight. You still look like a killer. Thank you. I'm going to take that as a compliment. Why all my favorite people to follow in stocks Canadian? Why are all my favorite people to follow in stocks Canadian? Okay, sorry. Wasn't even you. I thought you were crazy. It's me. I don't know. We're like 1/10 the population, I guess. Well, like if we were the 51st state. So in that case, I guess just good luck. It's like if all your friends were left-handed or something. Which, by the way, I am left-handed, so I'm dually bad. Canadian left-handed. I'm a freak. I browse Reddit because of you. Okay, community portfolio. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a community portfolio. These are not my selection in names. This is a selection that is selected by you, the viewers. Someone like Steve here, who has donated so generously to say, hey, buy Apple with this. And so after this stream, I'm going to put in an order to buy $20 of Apple, which I lose money on every single one of these purchases because, Google takes their percentage of the donation and then I put the full amount into the stock. So I'm getting ripped off, but I won't get ripped off if your stocks do well. Now, luckily, we've not done too well. A total up 4%. So from a donation perspective, I'm down. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's still all free money and I'm super grateful. And I actually do love this thing. It's so cool to watch what you guys are investing in. And honestly, I should have paid more attention to what you guys were putting in because, this is how I found some names like IREN or I need to look at top gainers so I actually remember Bloom Energy. I literally had never heard of this name till someone donated it to me, however long ago. IREN, Energy Fuels, Applied Digital, D-Wave, Nebius. Not all of these I had heard of whenever they got donated, but like Kratos was. I haven't heard of Kratos before. Bloom Energy, Energy Fuels, I think at the time. Now we've been doing this for a few months now, but and some of these stocks have blown up since then. But in total, some of the best performers have been Applied Digital, Bloom Energy up 217%, Energy Fuels up 157%, IREN up 158%. Some of these have done incredibly well, but some of these also have not. SBET down 60%. That's a much, much larger position. So the portfolio does not look like it's doing great right now, but overall, today was a good day. SBET's up, SoFi's up, UNH, AMD, Abcelera, Hood. Looking, hopefully, like it's going to age like fine wine. We hope. Now, I still would like to do some rebalancing. I think we had gotten some donations that are, how do I say this politely, bad? Do I believe heavily in the grinder vision? I don't know if that's true. Am I a big believer in, Weeble or 5-9 or, I don't know. There's a couple names here, a couple quantum names as well. I don't know. QXO. SBET, honestly, is just the one that's just killing us. Chime's down 41%. It's just insane. We do have what's my own position on like my stance on Oscar? I don't have one at all. For anyone new to the channel, I like tech names. I like fintech. So finance and consumer apps, these sort of things are very easy for me to understand. Healthcare is not something. I'm a Canadian. I mean, we just get it for free. So I've got zero clue what's going on over at healthcare. I'll let Martin Shkreli have his opinions on that name, and I'll be over here. I'll have my opinions on SoFi. He can handle that industry. And I'll be fine not having an opinion on every name. Now, XYZ, I do have an opinion on, but I don't know if you'll like it. So I might keep that one to myself. Yeah, I just don't like XYZ. That's a Block Inc., a Cash App and Square Seller. I am new, started following you since your X posts are cool and took a shot at Grok. Are you serious? That's awesome. I didn't know people came over from my X because I barely even post there. But that's really insightful. That makes me want to take X seriously. Are you knocking on my door? Sorry, never mind. I tried to mute myself and ended up turning off my camera, so you heard me just yell. That was a boomer moment. But I heard a big knock, but I actually think it was my dog's tail on the door. Apple Pay and SoFi teaming? Is this news? Is this news that I don't know about? Let's see. No, I don't think so. We did get an update, though, from Robinhood. Based on app numbers, last week was another record-breaking one for sports event contracts. 415 million contracts traded, which translate to $4.15 million in revenue. Almost entirely like going to the bottom line. There's not even a margin on that. By the way, I don't think there's any SoFi Apple news at all. I can't find anything there. Yeah. Okay. You guys have seen my dog, no? I hope they lose all their oh, yeah, but why? Why? Like, I don't understand this. Like what are people's problems with Robinhood where you want another company to fail? Like, okay, you're bullish on SoFi. Why does Robinhood, why do they have to fail here? My dog's tail is just huge. I could get her, but yeah, you guys have seen her. I won't worry about it. Let's focus on the stocks. I also became a SoFi member. Feels good to have a SoFi account. Not gonna lie, TX, you made my day. Can we meet your girlfriend? Absolutely not. It is not gonna. Paul, I agree with you. I don't know why people think like they're doing well. You know, people just think because there's small outages and stuff like this that the people are going to automatically move millions of dollars as if their UI has not been, you know, a superior product to the other, to their competitors. I mean, they do push out product. They might move a little fast and break things from time to time, but they're doing well. People still pissed about GameStop. I think that is true. But there was a lot of brokerages. It wasn't just Hood. Yeah, many companies went down today, including my favorite Reddit, which you guys keep saying that I'm yeah. What about Sezzle and Shift4? I don't look into Sezzle really. Shift4 looks good. I'm a shareholder. Payment for order flow is why you don't like them. How do you think SoFi makes money? You think they're doing anything different? Just so you guys know, SoFi makes money on payment for order flow. Okay? Probably selling to the exact same customers. What are the 10 new deals in any top 10 bank? I don't know yet. It does seem like 2 of the deals that we ended up finding out was United and Southwest, which are huge. Those are absolutely huge. Yeah. I'm thinking about applying to Hood. Well, get ready to work, because everyone that I heard there, like, their work ethic is crazy, which is also a really good sign. Tanner, are you more bullish on new or D-local at these prices? See, this is such a hard question. I'm actively purchasing D-local today. Okay. I have way more Nubank. I mean, it's not even comparable, but I'm not adding to Nubank here. So I'm more bullish on I have higher conviction in Nubank, but new money is going towards D-local. So I don't know how to answer that question. Yeah. I saw some Shift 4 payments products this week. Nice. They might need some more employees. There's no amount of employees that would have fixed Amazon's problem. I didn't trust Hood because of GameStop for years. Emit slowly changed my mind. Yeah, I think the Robinhood needs customers. That's the way they make money. Here, one sec. My dog's actually pawing at the door now. Here, come here. Come here. Up. Hi. That's my dog. And her. Oh, come on. There you go. Just knock my mouse down. Hi, baby. Okay. Sorry, I was saying something about Hood. Yeah, the way that they make money is their own customers. They don't want to sacrifice their revenue stream, their future revenue stream. Like they need a reputation. It was a mistake, you know. But I haven't heard any solutions to what happened. So they came with needing more collateral than they've ever needed in history, and they didn't have the money. So what the heck do you do? Is that a shock collar? That is a ribbon. That's what that is. But I am aware of the shock collar debacle that's going on right now. But yeah, she has no collar on, actually. I might join Tanner's membership because of his dog. That sounds like a plan. But yeah, so Robinhood, especially most companies. Okay, I have a couple things to say. One, another reason why the collateral was so large because it was trade plus 2. Now that we're at trade plus 1, especially going into a tokenized environment, in a tokenized environment, they wouldn't even need collateral. It'd be instant settlement. Like, it'd be fine. So those problems wouldn't arise again. The next thing I always find is that whenever a company which has thousands of employees and they need their customers. Oh, now I know why she's in this room. She's here because of the fireworks. I was wondering why she was pawing at the door. But Another thing that I find is that whenever a company is bleeding from a certain part of their business, they put extra protection there. Robinhood would be stupid to make that same mistake again. I mean, we're talking about Vlad here. We're talking about Robinhood. We're not talking about Boeing. Okay, they're not going to make the same mistake 5 times. It was a little Boeing joke. Sorry, guys, if you hold it. Yeah. When is alt season? I don't really look at crypto like that anymore. Honestly, I'm basing Ethereum and Solana and these sort of names based on their utility, not based on technical analysis. Boom. Thank you. You must live in Ontario. I do. I'm a Toronto guy. Yeah, Trump seasons. Well, I mean, that is true. What Trump says goes in terms of what's happening on crypto. Scarborough, that's close. DLocal versus Shift 4. DLocal is definitely growing faster. But they're not a US company either. So you have to face some of those problems. Plus, they're not exactly the same in terms of like actually processing payments in a restaurant type stuff. But yeah. Thoughts on 8Co? Have zero 8Co thoughts. Zero 8Co thoughts. It's a small investment from Tom Lee. I don't really look at it or care about it at all. What? Silly dog. Oh, jeez. Okay. I still like my Rocket. Yeah, I haven't really looked. I took a couple looks. I didn't like it. Not that I didn't like it. I don't like those types of cyclical names. I like companies that just grow. Would switch some SoFi to BMNR if you have liquidity crunch? No. You are a 51st guy? I think so. Here's the thing. Okay. I've asked a bunch of Canadians. I said, what's the problem with becoming the 51st state? And I hear either no real answer, free healthcare, or it's the way Trump said it. He didn't ask, he sort of demanded it or something. But I don't care about that. I'm such a analytics type of guy. I just look at the power of the currency, the more competitive businesses. I think competition in business is just a way that's just better for consumers. They have to win my love, and so there's pricing wars. Like, there's no company that comes in and crushes every other company without, my approval, unless it's government mandated or something like this. Like I said, everything in terms of whether or not innovation and pricing beats out. The only way it doesn't is if government mandates a certain winner, which they have in the past. Okay. But I do think similarly with the European Union is that why don't we have some sort of similar currency? Not similar. I mean, same currency, same passport. We could be separate countries, but have great relationships that way. I don't know, but this is what I honestly hear from a lot of Canadians. He didn't brand it right. That we would love to come together as a partnership, not as being forced to or something like this. But to me, I don't really play that sort of political game. So I'm honestly just looking at it from the numbers side. I would benefit. All my money is in US dollars anyway. I make US dollars. Google pays me US dollars. I get it put directly into a US dollar account that goes into my US dollar trading account. Yeah. So, and I'm not even looking to get political here. I'm not even suggesting that. I am questioning whether or not there are Canadians in this chat that do not, without leaving or getting emotional about it. I'm not. I'm just looking for answers. I don't know why people are against it. You know. Let's see. I've got the same thought. Are you broadcasting till we hit 30? I've actually thought about doing some sort of stream like that, but I don't think I will. And plus, we've already been to 30. That's not even interesting anymore. You can't not get political. Yeah, but there's Canadian politics. Like, I mean, politics is not a United States based thing. That's in every single country. I mean, unless maybe you're like in Russia or North Korea or something. I mean, there's some level of you're allowed to talk about opposing opinions and different potential political parties. I mean, politics is a worldwide thing. I don't think that's unique to the United States. Just the United States has 10x the population. So we get your media. It's more popular. It's not political. It's a pride issue. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the fireworks are going off. She's freaking out. Lay down, baby. Lay down. You're saying Paul. I don't even know how else I would say it. Politics? Don't make me sound crazy. It's politics. Thinking of adding to Melly. I don't think you can go wrong in that name, honestly. Is there a single Canadian in this chat that can tell me why they want to stay Canadian opposite to what like not a part of the United States? Because to me, I've always looked at Americans as peers. And I do hear of people that think of Americans as lesser or something like this. And I don't agree with that at all. I mean, anyone can have vices or do certain things. I don't lump people into groups of like whole, like, America's obese or something like this. So like yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, you could just as well say, hey, all Canadians are, I don't know. I don't know if what I was going to say is allowed. So. But yeah, it's a Trump thing. Yeah, I mean, but I do want there to be. I would love to travel to Texas and California and buy a house there and actually get a mortgage and do all these things. And but it's not that easy. You guys have this thing called ICE. You guys will kick me out. Would you rather? Yeah, but I don't honestly. I'm not that political of a guy. I wouldn't even know the difference. Like, is there a rule in the United States that I don't agree with? I don't know. I don't know. For the most part, Canada and the United States, for the most part, the Venn diagram of rules syncs up pretty well. I don't read a rule book before coming to the States. I act the way I would act in Canada, you know? So just get a gold card for $1 million. Isn't it 5 million? Um, I do not think a lot would change other than, well, yeah, you guys have to come over to our standard. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. The whole world is against you on that one. Just like Celsius makes sense. What is Fahrenheit even pinning itself to? It makes no sense to me. 32 is freezing. What a random number. Celsius, listen how easy this is. 0, freezing. 100, boiling. What other two metrics do you want? Those are the metrics. You know? What's boiling in Fahrenheit? $212. Wow, that's good. That's a nice round number for you guys. And half of you guys don't even know what it is. 220, this guy says. Kilometers are easy. I find miles easy too. I've got no problem with miles. Miles actually makes a lot of sense to me. But meters, kilometers, I guess maybe you guys don't do meters either. But yeah, feet, pounds, I'm all good with. What the heck is a Fahrenheit? It makes no sense. What's boiling in Canadian? 100. It's so the rest of the world, we're on the same thing. You guys are off. I do feet and inches. I can do that. I don't got to do centimeters and all this stuff. 100 Fahrenheit hot makes sense. No, it doesn't. That's just a number. That doesn't make any sense. Okay. Daylight savings time. Yes, you guys have that too. Do I speak French? No. No, honestly, I've if I know a bunch of people ask me if I'm like autistic or whatever. I think the one thing where I might show some autistic traits, or maybe they're ADHD. I don't know what they are, but I can't learn something if I'm not interested. I know that's a lot of humans, but I've got zero interest to learn another language. French, I mean, I just failed my way through school. And I'm sure we're all to some degree autistic. Quebec and Montreal speak mostly French. Yeah, I know. I don't go near there. Like, that's called being American. I know. That's why I would fit in so well with you guys. Banned from Quebec. They wouldn't even, I would never go. I've never even been out of, like, I think Ontario. I've been in more places in the States than I've been in Canada. There's nowhere to go here. It's all cold. I don't want to be here. The first thing I'd do if we ended up being the 51st state is I'd move south. Isn't that funny? Okay. Come to California. You guys have high taxes. Less than a quarter of Canada speaks French. I mean, it is a second language. Like, we all learn it in school, but the second I, tried to learn it, I just forgot everything. I cannot. It's not a thing that I can do. And the people that say come here legally, like, I mean, I'm sorry. That's the part that you guys don't understand, I don't think, is like, there's no, like, it's not even remotely easy. It's not like, hey, all you got to do is sign these papers, sign up, and then you can head down. Once you got the permit, you're good to go. It doesn't work like that. It's like an insanely large process that also includes a lottery or There's different ways to get in, whether you're a business owner, you need to be down there for work. Like, it's just insane hard. Just write a letter. Yep. No, you're right. Yeah. I know it's getting worse. I heard that California is getting much better and that people still hold the stigma that it's terrible, but it is actually getting cleaned up right now. Is this true? I heard it is secretly getting much better and that people who are living there are enjoying changes. This can't, no, honestly, well, I mean, I don't know. Not where I live. I went to California, San Francisco, and I was surprised by the amount of homeless. There's homeless here, obviously, but it doesn't seem nearly as bad. Not my neighborhood. True. California, best state, best weather. I mean, I think a lot of people would agree with the good weather. I think that's sort of a staple about California. California is on the cutting edge of doing things the wrong way. I think of California being like Canada. I don't. I think it's very different. Whenever I was in California, it felt like very hippie-y. Very, very liberal and hippie-y. And I know, like, that's what people think of Canada, but like, I honestly, I don't. It doesn't feel like California. Okay. Southern California is very different than Northern California. Where is San Francisco? That's where I was. Is that still going through? The city that SpaceX or whatever tried to make in Texas? What was it called? Starbase or something? What was that called? Northern California. Okay. No, I've never been to Burning Man. I was in San Francisco for Robin Hood's gold event, the original one. Whenever they showed off the banking and everything. They did that at the Mint, the San Francisco Mint. Am I saying that right? There's like an old gold bank there. So they did their gold event there. I'm looking at Florida. Yeah, that's like where all the Canadians go. I've definitely been to Florida a lot. A lot of family that ends up traveling there and everything. But yeah. I find the one good thing that I have in Canada that I don't know if this is something to worry about, but we have almost zero natural disasters. Or at least in my life, I've experienced zero natural disasters here in Toronto. A snowstorm or two, but like a snowstorm is nothing. Like, or at least not a big one. Obviously, I think there's been some places like Montreal and stuff that have had like insane, snowstorms. I've never experienced that in my life. But there's been multiple times where I've gone down to Florida, or I was going to go down to Florida and have had to cancel my flights or leave because of a hurricane. And I'm just like, man, there's a couple spots in the United States that is either tornado ridden, hurricane ridden, drought, like fires. So many fires, bro. California, it's like you either go to the fires over here or the water over here, the flooding and the like in Canada, it's like I don't like the weather. It's just, but it's moderately bad all the time, but it's never catastrophic. I'm never having my house rebuilt. No earthquakes. No earthquakes. I've never experienced, maybe whenever I was a child. But I don't think, I haven't looked at like a fault map, like seeing where the tectonic plates are aligned. But I'm sure Toronto is not near it because I have not experienced an earthquake. Not since I was a kid. Okay. Yes, but dude, that is not, there's no city that's experienced like what you guys are talking, like we are one big, like if you see Canada on a map, okay, Canada's huge, way, way bigger than the United States, but 80% of it, 90% of it is uninhabitable. You know, we all live on the southern border, like, and really 75% of Canadians live in the southern part of Ontario. Like it's so, we live here and we've got this big forest above us. So yes, there are fires that happen in Canada, but it's nowhere where anyone's living. Like there were a bunch of fires that like supposedly all that smoke went through Texas and everything. I didn't even experience anything. It was worse in New York than where I was. No hail. I mean, some hail, but it's not like it's nothing. It's not cracking windshields or doing anything like this. It's just hail. Like I don't know. You could probably walk outside when it's hailing. It's just, don't look up or whatever. I don't know. Toughen up? It's not a toughen up thing. I just don't want my house wiped out. I live in BC, so we have really bad fires. Not in Toronto, though. That's the only thing. Other than that, I'd love to get out of here. But yeah. Okay, let's see. Is there 41 million now? We just keep growing, eh? Didn't really do anything fun for my birthday. Chilled around, but yeah, it was still great. I'm not a big birthday guy. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't feel any different. Are you looking at TSM? Probably not as strongly or as closely as I should be. But yeah. I mean, it's kind of how I feel, Edward. It's very, very cool for kids, but yeah. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's 8:45. We've had an hour and 45-minute long podcast with a mix of, stock talk and very civil political talk. So, and I appreciate that from you guys. Sometimes I can mention a certain name and then people say that I'm not allowed to even talk about certain policy or whatever. It's not like we even talked about much anyway, but yeah, just appreciate that. In the coming days, we have a Q3 predictions video for SoFi. I'm going to talk to you guys about all the numbers that I'm expecting, including my price target on SoFi. After that, I want to talk to you guys about Chime. I have another talk that I want to do about BMNR. So it's going to be pretty loaded. I'm also looking, hopefully, at getting some pretty exciting interviews going again, starting to reach back out to some CEOs and stuff like this to get on the podcast. We were on a pretty good roll there. So doing that again would be quite fun. So hopefully we have some great content for you guys. I want to deliver as much information and enjoyable content and try to find some more winning stocks. I mean, we've been on a decent roll there, and let's keep it going. So, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Really do appreciate your time. If you're not subscribed, hit that button down below. And until next time, bye for now.